Hello YouTube, it is Chris here, and in today's episode we're going to be doing a full test and review of my favorite woods base camp tools. If you're joining us for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new episodes or our daily giveaways. Additionally, make sure you hit that notification button so you don't miss anything. Also, we have a new round of our Amazon gift card giveaways, and to enter, you need to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. We also pick winners in the very next episode, so if you enter on this particular giveaway, you'll find out who the winner is on the very next episode. For those of you who follow me on my channel regularly, you have seen the Silky Big Boy 2000 and the Silky NATA in some previous episodes, as well as a few different posts on Instagram and Facebook using this stuff outdoors. And let me freaking tell you, I have never been able to efficiently process wood so freaking well in my entire life. And that stems all the way from growing up when I was at my parents' house when I was a kid growing up, and I had to do landscaping in my own yard. We had about 2 acres in my backyard growing up, and good lord, I think in one summer we had to excavate about 68 trees from the backyard to actually bring more light into the backyard because it was so densely populated back there. And just to fully break down and process 1 to 3 trees a day is grueling work, and not having the right tools can completely suck. And as soon as I got the Silky Big Boy 2000 and the Silky NATA in hand and we started using it, I was literally losing my mind at how efficient these tools are. Now, something my buddy Nate said over at Canadian Prepper, he said that having big, huge chopping knives are a little overrated because he's not a knife guy, and I agree with him completely. If you're gonna be processing large amounts of wood, having a chopper isn't super efficient. Is it better than absolutely nothing? Hell yeah. If you want to be able to be effective and efficient, a folding saw or a big bow saw is the way to go. Now, as far as large, portable, packable, lightweight folding saws, the Silky Big Boy 2000 has got to be my favorite due to the fact that it's got a 14.2 inch cutting blade, which is SK4 spring steel with the impulse hardened teeth, very similar to all the Silky saws you've seen before. For the money, this being like a $50 saw for its absolute sheer length is a monster. It's got a nice pressing locking mechanism right here, all metal hardware right here. Very, very easy to replace the blades. And speaking of replacing the blades, inside my bug out bag, I actually went ahead and bought 2 replacement blades for the Silky Big Boy 2000 for the fact that if I'm out in the field, you can't do repairs on impulse hardened steel. You can't. Having a few replacements will be key to make sure you can keep yourself working and mobile, because you can't go on Amazon in an emergency. Now, for when jobs get really serious and the Big Boy 2000 is just not enough, I would suggest jumping all the way up. Go all the way up and get a Katana Boy and just do it. Those will be processing full-on trees. That's when you want to build your freaking log cabin. That's when you're going to have a big felling axe. You're going to have all the big tools, and you're going to be basically homesteading. That is what that bad boy is for. But when you're trying to build a super shelter, you want to be very highly mobile, and you don't want to spend $125 or more on a single tool. The Big Boy 2000 has a ticket. Now, there are going to be people out there who are going to drop that in the comments section, spouting off with, well, I don't need all that. That's crazy. $4 to $5 for a folding saw? You out of your dang mind. If I got to spend more than $20 on something like my Baco lap blender, y'all, you're crazy. That thing serves me really good. It's good for my bushcraft rucksack. Yo, dude, shut up. I don't like the Baco. I actually think the Baco is complete trash. It sucks. Really bad. And I am not jumping on the Silky bandwagon. Trust me. For the money, I would go with the Corona. This is $19. It's 10 inches long. It actually has SK4 spring tempered impulse hardened push cut draw teeth. And this thing will get the freaking job done. This is the razor tooth saw. You can find these on Amazon for about 20 bucks. And yes, of course, I will most definitely have a link in the video description. But this, for a pruning saw for branches and really small trees, this thing will do the trick. Now, when you're wanting to move up to bigger trees and you want to get some really serious work done, that's why the Big Boy 2000 has my vote. Because that extra 4-inch long blade doesn't seem like a whole lot, but once the jobs start getting bigger and the demand for serious wood processing becomes more serious, you definitely want that extra length. For those who just want something quick that has a nice 10-inch saw, this will work just fine. So don't think I'm necessarily on the Silky bandwagon, because I also have awesome saws like the Easy Cut Wow Saw. We saw those guys at the Self-Reliance Expo in Dallas. Those things are awesome. This saw is a little bit more expensive. It is an 8.5-inch blade saw, still using SK4. It's a really good draw cutting saw too. It has the same technology built into it. Really good ergonomic handle, really nice metal construction up in here. This thing cuts like a freaking beast. But like I said, these are good for the smaller tasks. When you need the bigger tasks, I'm talking about you're bugging out. This isn't like a 3-day hurricane emergency. This is some serious stuff where you may not come home again. That's why I want something more substantial. Now, if you really want to take your stuff seriously and you don't think the Katana Boy is big enough, they got this. Now we move on to the Silky NATA, and I like this thing a lot actually. This thing hits really freaking hard. This really bites in deep, but it's got a flat saber grind on it. It has a big, thick, like 5 or 6 millimeter thick head on it, and it's heavy. This is designed to be basically a fro or a hatchet, very similar to something like the Ontario SP8 or your Tarava Scrumma. This thing is designed to do work. It's no nonsense. It's not going to be, it's basically a 1 to 2 use tool. It does have a lot of hand grips, so you can do some delimbing, debarking, things like that if you're going to be doing any wood crafting or some bushcraft task out there. But the handle is really ergonomic. It can be removed. But the weird thing is if you need to buy replacement blades for them, this entire system as it stands for the sheath, the handle, the blade, it's like $106. So the good thing is if you ever need to replace the blade, you get a significant damage, you can go on places like Amazon and eBay and you can pick up just the replacement blades for like $50. So that's good. That knows that if you break this thing and you need to replace it, you don't have to spend the full Monty to get the blade back, which I kind of like. Now, a few specs on this. It's about a 9.5-inch blade. Like I said, it's about 5 millimeters thick. This thing weighs a ton. This is like 1.5 pounds. It's pretty freaking heavy, full tank construction all the way. It does have that goofy removable handle, like I said, so you can replace the blades if you need to. On the website, I know a lot of people was like, oh, this is proprietary steel. No, it's not. It is SK4 carbon steel, the same as they use on all their saw blades, and it is chrome plated for anti-corrosion and anti-friction. It's the same steel. It's not proprietary. It's just SK4. I mean, don't get it twisted. It does come really razor sharp. When we actually went to go use this out in the field, we were able to actually strike a ferro rod on this bad boy, which was pretty dang impressive. I was pretty happy to see that they actually went a full 90-degree spine. And this edge is capable of some pretty fine feather working. I was pretty shocked. So if you actually decide that you want very versatile tools out in the bush in your campsite, the Silky NATA and the big boy, if you want to stick with kind of just branded material, for $150 for 2 extraordinarily reliable tools, they got your back. Now the sheath isn't necessarily anything to write home about. It's a plastic sheath with some metal